Now, we all know Jennifer Lopez isn't doing too hot, so to be honest, I'm not surprised to hear about Ben. Our first blind item reads, it was pretty obvious the A-list actor, sometimes director, was drinking again and acting like it, which is a big no-no from J-Lo because she does not like her husband drinking. And maybe Jennifer Lopez is doing the right thing by being an accountability partner for her husband Ben, but it's not enough to change the public perception around this couple. This person commented, I can't muster any sympathy for the guy. All his wounds are self-inflicted. This whole marriage was cooked up by publicists because she couldn't stand that she'd been humiliated by A-Rod and needed to change the narrative from his boozing and vigorous defense of Harvey Weinstein. So really what they're trying to say is that Jennifer's and Ben's publicists worked together to try to create this relationship for these two to benefit, because they both weren't doing too well on their own. But honestly, together, they're not doing much better. One person wrote, I was thinking he was on coke. He had the grind on pretty badly, I thought. This person wrote that Ben is one of those that goes too far with his drinking, then cuts way back for a long time, but slowly creeps back up with the drinking until there's another event that leads to another extended period of cutting back. Which honestly, that sounds like any person's battle with addiction. They write that Ben's ex, Jennifer Garner, got tired of the roller coaster and she decided to bail. Jennifer Lopez permits the roller coaster, but she has a few events that are non-negotiable. You guys know there was recently a Tom Brady roast and Ben Affleck was there. A lot of people were commenting on his face and how it looks like he's done something to it. This person wrote, the Brady roast was funny. Ben Affleck looked like he had some work done to his face and seemed too angry for the occasion since everybody else was goofing around. Usually he's a pretty funny guy, so maybe it was the booze talking. And then finally, another person commented, if I was married to Jennifer Lopez, I would be drinking too. Let's break down what's going on here. So this headline reads that Ben Affleck is trolled for bad plastic surgery in an unhinged rant at the Tom Brady roast. Reports write that Ben Affleck made a surprise appearance at the live roast of Tom Brady, but it was Affleck himself who got roasted by fans watching the Netflix special. Viewers also speculated that Ben had gotten plastic surgery because, according to them, he looked completely different on stage. Over 6 minutes into his speech, Ben admitted that his rant probably wasn't landing well. He said, I don't think I'll ever get this chance again. I'm probably never going to work again, actually, after tonight. So his performance wasn't great, and he knew it. I mean, he's an actor. He knows when there's a bad performance.
Fans have your back, right? That's what a fans buy tickets. They show up. Win or lose, they support you. I know. I went to Foxborough with Steve Grogan was the quarterback. Okay, yeah. Like you sitting there hiding behind your keyboard, spewing out all this toxic about people you'd be afraid to come up to if you saw them at the car wash. You know, people who went out there and did something, who are successful, or even if another player ended up catching the football on his helmet, maybe they failed.
I can't stand when people cuss too much. I mean, I like a good cuss word here and there, a good F you, but if you have to cuss every sentence, then probably what you're saying isn't intelligent enough to be funny, if you have to add all those cuss words in. But people did not react well to Ben's speech. One person wrote, Ben Affleck going on an unhinged rant about fans on social media at the Tom Brady roast was not on my bingo card. And honestly, it wasn't on mine either. I wonder if all the hate Jennifer Lopez has gotten has kind of fueled this. Another person wrote, noticing Ben's face, that Ben Affleck's facelift looks insane. Another person wrote, Ben Affleck couldn't afford good plastic surgery. No wonder he seems so angry, and that's permanent. Now, I do think he looks youthful. He does look a little bit tight here. I mean, a facelift, I feel like would take some time to recover from, but maybe. Do you think Jennifer's the one that booked it for him? Either way, I am over this man, and it seems like the rest of the world is as well. Now, I'm ready to get into this next blind item, and it's about Scientology, so watch your backs. Apparently, the very first question this church leader is going to get asked under oath during his deposition is the whereabouts of his wife. Now, this is about David Miscavige, his Church of Scientology, and his wife, Shelly Miscavige, who hasn't been seen in over a decade. So this man, David, is the head of a big church, a very big and powerful church, and nobody knows where his wife is at. I need you guys to really understand. There's a leader of the church. Imagine, like, obviously the United States is a much bigger entity than Scientology. Scientology. But imagine we had a president who had a wife who we hadn't seen in over a decade, and every time someone asked where this person was, we never got an answer. One person wrote that David Miscavige will lie about Shelly whether he's under oath or not. Do you really think someone who runs a cult cares about being under oath? And maybe he'll spread his own propaganda on his new website, which is Scientology Network, a news source for this cult to spread their propaganda within their people and I guess to recruit others. Another person wrote, "It freaks me out that an adult woman can disappear and the police can just take her husband's word for it. They say the police met with someone claiming to be Shelly once, but the fingerprints they took were inconclusive and they were never followed up." So this issue surrounding Shelly has been a problem for a very long time. Susie asked, did he have Shelly killed? I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Another person wrote that this is silly. People know exactly where his wife is. She just might not be his wife anymore, though. The question would be, why was his wife sent away to isolation? And then the answer is the same as of all the other high levels, to keep anyone else from ousting him. So essentially, they're saying that something happened between David and his wife, Shelly. She wanted to turn on him, and he wasn't going to let that happen.
The last time anyone has seen Shelly publicly was August 2007. So it's been almost 17 years. Shelly's parents were Scientologists. So as a young child, she was sent to live with L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. Her mother, Flo Barnett, left the church, joined another kind of competing church, took some important papers with her. And then her mother was found not alive, and they said it was self-inflicted, but there was a hole in her head and her chest, so it's not adding up. Anyway, Shelly is a loyal member and follower of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard.
Now, while David is expected to speak under oath, there are a lot of connections between this cult and the justice system and the police, and he has his ways. Actually, David Miscavige has been able to remove judges before off of lawsuit cases because he didn't like their approach, which makes me wonder, what kind of power does this man have within the courtroom? Because if he can fool the courtroom and he can get around that, then of course getting rid of his wife would be super easy. In this case in particular, lawyers in the lawsuit questioned why David would be motivated to remove this judge and argued that he shouldn't be allowed to swoop in and disqualify a judge considering the court had already ruled on substantive issues in the case. They said the timing of this is highly suspicious, so this guy can really swoop in and anything involved in Scientology and in the courtroom. If he doesn't like a certain judge, then he can go and put a judge who is part of the church on the stand. So really, he gets his way no matter what.
David Miscavige has managed again to get a judge bounced out of a lawsuit against Scientology, but this time, incredibly, after the judge had posted a tentative ruling that was going to be very bad for Scientology and its arbitration, but before the judge could come into court and rule on it. How is David Miscavige doing this? David Miscavige is being rewarded for the way he games the system with his wealth and privilege. I've said for so many times over the years, U.S. courts are literally not set up to deal with a relentless bad actor like the Church of Scientology. Scientology just goes scorched earth every time, and the courts are not set up for that.
While we're on the topic of cults, I think it's time for our next blind item, which reads, you can buy one of the Billionaire criminals address books, but the last person who owned one of them ended up dead. The thing is cursed. So essentially, there's an Epstein address book that is going around. I guess that's been for sale before, but whoever has it, owns it, they end up dying. One person wrote, it's not cursed. It's the business of taking money from a fool who should know the consequences. And I do feel like there's a lot of like bad energy associated to material items. So if you do buy something that is so intentionally evil, you're going to feel those effects. Reports write that Jeffrey Epstein is going to name names again. A mysterious black book believed to belong to the late financier, which revealed the names of addresses of 221 previously undisclosed people, is going up for auction, and bidders are being assured that their identities will be kept secret. Which is another weird part of this, I guess, because the book is known to be cursed. Maybe the buyer wants to be anonymous so that they're not targeted or killed off. If it isn't the spirits, it's someone else. This little black book could cost up to $200,000 or more. more, and honestly, I would be willing to pay to keep it away from me. Some of the names that are reportedly coming up in this book is the former president, Donald Trump. We've got a billionaire. We've got Melania Trump's best friend, another billionaire activist named Carl, Christina Greven, who is the wife of CNN anchor Chris Como, ex-Playboy CEO Christy Hefner. And honestly, I didn't expect to see Hugh Hefner's daughter's name there, but oddly, I'm not surprised. Now, none of these people have been charged with crimes, and I don't think necessarily like being associated or just having the number of someone means that you have also committed what they had committed. But when they are unpacking his circles, it's interesting to see the powerful people he aligns with and maybe the ways that he could sway them or blackmail them. You guys know that he would have like celebrities come out to his island. He would film them doing these horrible things and then use that against him to get what he wanted.
Any presidents' names in there?
Well, actually, Epstein has, I believe, 24 contact numbers for Clinton. When Clinton was president, Epstein was going into the White House with girls. I don't think that they were minors, but Epstein was definitely delivering women to Clinton when Clinton was in the White House.
What's with the painting?
It's Jeffrey Epstein's perverted sense of humor towards Bill Clinton, I guess. I'm sure that Clinton probably never saw it. Nothing like Bill Clinton in a blue dress, which kind of is a frightening thought.
Here's a picture of the black book, and I just don't even want to see it. Like, no, thank you. Let's keep that bad energy away from here. Reports write, what is clear is that the book names 349 people, 221 of whom were not named in the later, more famous black book that Epstein kept. This book was the subject of an in-depth investigation back in 2021, and the address book, believed to be from 1997, will go up for a private sale by Alexander Historical Auctions. Again, I can't imagine who would actually want to own this, but I guess it's an interesting piece of history. It's like a piece of history, though, that I would rather not acknowledge because it's so foul. But it's also important for us to acknowledge it because we can't allow billionaire monsters like him to exist again, even though some of us think that he might still be out here.
Now, the auction house expects that the bids will go over $1 million. So we'll see what happens. Whoever ends up buying this version of the black book, will they do right by it? Will they release names? I mean, it's criminal evidence too. So the bigger question I have is who was sleeping on this black book?
Let's switch gears and talk about something a little bit lighter, maybe not necessarily light, but we're talking about Mama June. This former reality star is about to be back on television again and hates what she looks like, but thinks the weight loss shot, Ozempic, will take too long. I hope she doesn't do meth again. And this is about Mama June, aka Shannon, who has had issues with drugs in the past. This person wrote that Mama June still has her issues, writing that Mama June never stopped doing meth. The reality TV world has made a bag off of Mama June and her daughter, Honey Boo Boo, and anytime they talk about anything or share their lives, there is some media coverage. Remember, Mama June had a full spin-off show called like From Not to Hot with Mama June, which is so weird. It was like covering her, I guess, becoming more attractive according to beauty standards. This report writes that Mama June, Shannon, is taking steps to drastically improve her health. She recently shared that she would be starting weight loss injections to help drop the pounds, yet it appears that she's actually taking her journey seriously this time around. Now, one of the things that keeps me in the gym and keeps me healthy is just the fact that we could easily fall. I mean, she has had battles with addiction, with her weight, with so many different issues, and of course, like, not taking care of yourself isn't going to help that. Unfortunately, Mama June lost one of her daughters to cancer, and that was really difficult for her to deal. And she claims that this led to her eating more and more fast food. Reports write that due to this and all the stress, June maintained that she gained even more weight back. Therefore, she has recently shared that she is now trying out Ozempic, which I am not a hater of Ozempic, but I just hope that she used her insurance or her own money for that, because Ozempic isn't necessarily cheap unless you are diabetic, and you guys know Honey Boo Boo was robbed by her own mother. If you guys have not seen that video, definitely go and check it out. Okay, Mama June, round of applause for Mama June out in the gym. Don't you love when people go to the gym for the first time and they take all these pictures and videos? I don't mind it, I don't care, but I can't even be on my phone at the gym. Either way, look at her, she looks slay. Okay, I wonder how much what is she doing? Oh, she's riding a bike? Yeah, looks like she's running a bike, Planet Fitness. That's what I used to go to back in the day when I worked in the government. Mama June puts everything out on social media, and of course, she's posted a clip talking a little bit about this new lifestyle change. Here it is.
Okay, guys, we're gonna do a little check-in. Y'all know today was my 4th shot. I am at week 3 of this, the end of week 3 going into week 4, which should be my 1 month. Am I nauseous? No. The very first shot, yes. I had a really bad headache. I felt crazy. But as I have been going up every week, which I'm on 40 units, because I'm sure I'm not the only girly or guy that is on this. People ask, I am on semaglutide. I'm not on Ozempic. I'm not on Wegovy. I'm not on this one or that one. I am on semaglutide. I do inject myself in the stomach. I did it in the thigh 1 week, and it was okay.
Now, while a lot of people hate this weight loss injection because, I think some people are jealous because it does seem like an easy way to lose weight, there are some good reactions. One person wrote, good for her. Maybe she's trying to take her health a little bit more seriously these days. Justin, her man, might have gone through her. Another person wrote, can't hate on anyone at the gym. Good for her. Another person wrote, I, like June, always put my fake hair in before going to the gym to pretend to work out. So they're calling her out. And then finally, this person wrote, when the Ozempic comes in and you want to make it look real. This blind item reads, what was not discussed in this documentary is how many of those hundreds of cameras were live streaming to friends and co-workers of this producer for a very hefty monthly fee. That's interesting. What they're trying to say is that Dan Schneider had another operation going on besides just running a show, but secretly filming people and allowing access to probably like-minded people. This person wrote that Diddy had 250 cameras installed in his home. This person commented back, imagine the amount of gross things that Dan Schneider has provided to his friends. This person wrote, the discovery process is going to be lit. Pretty much looking into the claims that Dan Schneider is this monster that Quiet on Set has made him out to be. But this person made a good point. If it gets that far, California has a very robust anti-slap statute. Odds are, Dan being the public figure he is, his lawsuit will likely get dismissed before the discovery process really gets started. This article writes, Quiet on Set bonus episode keeps spotlight on Dan Schneider and Brian Peck as a hashtag #MeToo movement for kids. This Discovery representative made a good point. He said, there have been hundreds of media outlets and content creators who have evolved this story. We wanted to give that platform back to the very people whose story it really is, which I think is a great point because I've been exposing Dan Schneider on my channel for years now. My most viewed videos about Dan Schneider, I helped these people create this documentary, providing them content and footage that they could use. So this story is much bigger than just the ID network.
Yeah, I think that's more yours. Are you official orange? I got blue.
I write hat of spoons, and we get
Hat of spoon.
a hat of spoon. This is why I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah. Eat your cereal, kids.
I would be screaming if Dan Schneider got close to me or even tried to kiss me on the cheek. I would be running out of there, and I would think that'd be a nightmare, but really it's some people's reality. You guys know he released an apology on his YouTube channel, a 19-minute long apology video, and one person named Brian Christopher Hearn, who actually featured in the Quiet on Set documentary, said that Dan was an actor before all of this. So I think he brushed off some chops and gave us a nice performance in his apology. So Brian isn't buying it.
Your former boss, Dan Schneider, posted a video defending himself. He also apologized for his actions. If he had known at the time, he would have changed it on the spot. Why are you both laughing?
Because he definitely knew.
My thing about his interview as a whole is I thought it was funny.
What did you think was funny about it?
If I could be candid, Dan was an actor before all of this. And so I think that he brushed off some chops and gave us a nice performance. Where was all of this apologizing?
True.
When Jeanette McCurdy's book came out?
Or when Angelique Bates had said something.
Yeah, very publicly.
Very publicly.
And I just...
And also when I protested, I'm sorry.
And to be honest, I'm not buying it either, but I hope you guys enjoyed this blind item breakdown. Do you guys still enjoy this series? Do you want more? Do you have any other video ideas for me to dive into? My email is SloanWellKnown@gmail.com, but until next time, I will see you guys in next week's blind item breakdown. And in the meantime, go and tune into some of our videos. I posted like 3 on Tuesday. I was at Disney World. It was fun. I got to meet some of you guys. It was really nice. So thanks to those who said hi, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.